Here. She looking for the phone?
Hello, this is Sandy from Oh God. This is Sandy from Doux Designs. And tonight we are going to use the stamps from Artful Angel. And we're going to color up some zombies. So I'm going to show you a couple of things before I get rolling on what we're going to work on tonight. Hi, Becky. So I got 2 stamp sets from their new release. Hi, Timothy. And there are 5. I have colored some of them, so I'm going to show you what they look like. So the ones that I've already colored, so you can see some ideas, maybe get some ideas from all of this. And then tonight we're going to do one of the ones I have not done yet. So this is the girl that goes right here, and this is the one that goes right here. So I've already colored these, and it was so fun that tonight I want to do this one. Hi, Diana. And some of these sentiments, I mean, oh my gosh, they're super funny. So tonight we're going to use my favorite one. And you'll see it when we get to it. But these are some samples of the ones that I have already colored. So tonight we'll do this one since I haven't colored that one. And then these are some of the other ones. For some reason, there was a mistake on this one, so I couldn't use it. So I didn't color that one, but they're replacing it. So don't worry if you ever have a problem with stamps, just contact your person and they'll fix it for you. So these are the ones I've already done. And tonight I'm going to use this one. This one says, my biggest fear about becoming a zombie is all the walking. I mean, seriously. And this is the one we're going to use tonight. It's if zombies chase us, I'm tripping you, nothing personal. I love that one. I think it's funny. This one says you make me feel alive. So there's a variety of things you can do with these particular stamps. Like the one is like a teacher. So this one kind of looks like a teacher. So you could use the teacher sentiments. There are some. It says teachers love brains. And then this one could be used for anything.
It's a crossing guard.
He looks like a crossing guard, Dale says. This one looks like he could be like the doctor or a lab technician or whatever. This one is trick or treat. This one that we're going to do right now is a little bit of a universal one, so you can use it for kind of anything. I also pulled out this brick wall stamp set from Stampers Anonymous that I thought was really neat because it has a bunch of cracks in it, and we're going to use this as our background stamp. So I'm just going to set that to the side right now. We will have to fussy cut this girl out because I don't have dies for this particular one. However, it won't be too difficult. So no worries about that. Hi, Beth. So I know you guys might be wondering why we are actually having a live on Monday night instead of Tuesday night. And that is because I got home last night, but I leave again tomorrow for Kentucky. And so I won't be able to do the live tomorrow night, and I didn't want you guys to continue missing out, so I decided to move it to tonight. So I will be posting this on YouTube after the videos, after we're finished, and then I will be going to bed so I can get up early and drive again tomorrow for 12 hours. Okay, I used the Memento Tuxedo Black. And tonight we're gonna color some zombie skin. Now, I don't know if you noticed in those other zombies that I already colored, they all their skin tones are different. So I used a variety of colors on all of them. So there's a lot that you can do with them. And tonight we'll go a little bit like this one, but not quite. It's still going to have different colors in it. So it's kind of fun because when you do the zombies, you can pick any kind of color you want. And I like that because that just makes it even more fun. I think I'm going to stamp one more time just because I look like I have a little bit darker on this side, a little bit lighter on this side. So just going to make sure that I lightly touch that side and make that side a little bit thicker. I might put just a little bit of tag on this side, but I'm really worried more about the sentiment. I really want the sentiment to be dark enough. Hey there, Cheryl. Hi, Carrie. You say it Carrie or Kari? Because that looks a little bit like Kari. Anyway, just let me know. So now we have this part done. I've moved my whole craft room around because we were working on some projects before the live tonight. So some of my stuff is far away. Yes, thank you so much. It is going to be it's a long drive, but we just did 16 hours yesterday, so 12's not too bad. It's quite less than yesterday's. So we just got home last night at 1 a.m. from Arizona. Now we're going to go to Kentucky and Michigan, and it'll be lots of fun. Hey, Debbie. Carrie, it is Carrie. Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, so here is our little girl that we're going to color tonight. I was surprised you said you were doing a live, so you're home now. Yes, I got home last night. We slept in, and Joy is still here. So I brought her home with me, and then I have to take her back to Kentucky, and then we're going to do a show in Michigan. So lots and lots going on, but in the meantime, I will never forget about you guys. So I wanted to make sure we got a video in while I was home. Sorry, I'm adjusting the camera because I want to zoom in so you can see. It was nice to meet you in real life at the stamp show in Arizona. It was nice to meet you. I was so excited to see you following and everything today. I've met several new people and some people I've met before, so that was super fun. What show in Michigan? There's one in Southfield. It's like a SSAT, I think. And we're going to do that one. Oh gosh, you're doing the traveling again, you poor girl. Yeah, just temporarily though. I mean, we don't have anything in October really, so I'm good. And then I'll be traveling a little bit in November, but it's going to be I'm going to the Gen Dove boot camp. So that's for fun. It's not for a show or anything. Okay, so I know this is going to sound crazy, but we're going to do it anyway. So bear with me on the colors. This is the new Copic stand that Joy has in the Pajama Crafter Stamps group. So the design is new. The colors are purple, blue, pink, white, and black, I think. So just so you know, and then the press pops are now available there in Pajama Crafter Stamps as well. So if you're looking for those, you can get them there. There's a new card stand, like the card stands we used to have. These are the new ones. They hold the images upright just a little bit more, and they ship a little bit better. So a couple of new things in the shop, just so you guys know. So here's our colors. We're going to use W6, E84, YG93, E81, E30, and E09 we're going to use on her stitches across her face. So those are the colors. I know they sound crazy, but just bear with me. It'll work, I promise. Okay. because I don't want it to be necessarily really smooth or anything. I mean, she has to look dead. I'm not going to do a base coat. I'm just going to start going right in with the colors. So we're going to start with the W6. And I'm going to try not to reach across too much so it doesn't go out of focus. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I need to have some thickness around the shadow areas. And I don't know if you guys saw the release of the pumpkin head. Everybody liked him in Arizona, so that was very exciting. And there will be a few more releases from me on the 20th of this month, so be on the lookout. That should be this weekend. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. There's new stuff coming. Fast as we can produce it, it's coming out. Lots of new stuff. Now, those who were in Arizona got a sneak peek of it, but those who have not will get to see it on the 20th. So inside her ear, I'm kind of putting the darkest color because there's some depth in there. I got the pumpkin head at the expo. You did. And you're waiting on yours, Meg? Yes, I know. And we were working on that. We did not get to shipping today. So it will go out. I would say it will go out on Wednesday. So I'm sorry for the delay, but because we're traveling, we haven't had access to be able to get that out. If anybody knows, oh yay, thank you, Becky. If anybody knows or is friends with Chorus Young, if you could tag her, that would be fabulous, because she, these are her images from Artful Angel, and I'd like for her to be able to know that I'm coloring her stuff. She might want to watch. I don't know. But if somebody could tag her, that would be super great. So I'm doing the arms too. I'm putting some shadow area in here, just so we get, you know, some dimension going on. I'm going to do some on her legs, her the back of her knee, kind of the front. And then I did a little bit up here where her shirt is. She has a little stitches on her arm too, here and maybe here. So we'll be adding some red for those as well. So old. Ice Ice Baby Games Radio flashback. My husband was movie popping. Beth, you're making me laugh. That's funny. So now I'm going to do something that's going to look crazy. But because zombies have really dark rings around their eyes, I know that the artist put some in here, but I feel like I need to have just a bit more. So I'm going to go over where the darkest part is from the artist, and then I'm going to add to that around the outside of this eye. And I'm going to do it to both of them. It's going to make her look very, very funny right now. But if you hang with it and just wait till the end, you'll see how well it comes together. I mean, you guys know I'm just kind of guessing on that, right? Hey, Mom. It'll come together if it comes together the way it comes together in my head. But yes, it should come together very nicely by the end. Okay. And we are going to do some color. We are going to create some eyeballs too. So if you want to know how to create eyeballs, you can definitely stay there. Stick around, and you'll see that as well. Yes, trust the process for sure. So E84 is next. And I like this one. It's called Khaki, but it's almost going to give that little bit of dirty look to her face. Because we can't give her a peachy color because she's supposed to be dead, which is also a reason why I won't spend a lot of time putting any whites in her eyes, because if you're dead, you're not going to have reflection of life in your eyes. So we are not going to put that in here for her. So no white gel pen like we normally do with people. That's not going to happen with this one because we need to give it quite a different look. So I'm just going over where I put those darkest colors, extending it out a bit, blending through some of this darker color in there. You have to make stove top. You'll watch the replay. Okay, Beth, have a good evening.
I think Cars joined.
Hi, Meg. Did Cars join?
I believe so.
Are you here, Cars? That would be great. I hope so. She has a Band-Aid on her chin, which is super cute. So we will be coloring the Band-Aid separate. Hi, Cars. Thank you for tagging her, you guys. I didn't get to see, it went by too fast on who tagged her, but just thank you so much. I'm also going around those heavy gray eyes with this color because I want it to kind of blend, but I'm not really extending out the darkness by much, just a teeny bit. I don't want it to overpower her face. So it's just a little bit. And then I'm going to put a teeny bit over her nose as well. And then we're going to go down to her neck and add some here. Sorry you're late. It was a really long day. Oh, I figured I could tell because usually you're really fast on response. And I could tell you must have been super busy. So for this girl, Karis, I'll show again if you're able to stick around. I'll show I colored all the other ones that I have. I haven't made cards out of them yet, but I've colored them so I can show you what they look like. I showed them at the beginning. These are really fun to color. I am loving it. And this little girl, she's so cute. She might be my favorite, but I don't know. Each time I colored one, I said that one was my favorite. So you guys know how that works. We all feel that way. Now I feel like it's very brownish, but I'd love to have a little bit of greenish color. So I chose YG93. It's greenish yellow. And now we're going to blend with this one. And then we'll get lighter. But for now, I want to add this part in there as well. I feel like having all of those different tones in here really makes it seem like it's that non-skin color, if you will. If you know what I mean. I bet you guys know what I mean. It's always hard to do a zombie because you're like, what color am I supposed to do? Do I do just green? Do I do tan? Do I do gray? Yes, they are super fun to color. I like that you can make them be actual zombies or kiddos dressed up as zombies. So true. That is very true. I made all mine zombies, but yes, that is a great idea. To me, I just got excited because I don't really have, I don't even think I have any other zombies. They're not ringing a bell in my head.
Like you know that you put the colors in the description on YouTube.
Loving this color combo already. Yay! And for anybody who's watching but not coloring and might want to reference back to this color combination that I have, you can check out the YouTube after the live tonight. When I upload to YouTube, I always put the color combination in the comments, in that description. So you can definitely always go back and find the combination. So now you can see that green coming in a little bit. But I don't want her to look really green. I don't want her to look like she's got upset stomach, you know. So not gonna do her really, really green. We're gonna switch to a whole different tone after this one. I mean, if I wanted to do somebody who was having a not feel well day, I would definitely use this. Yes, I put the colors in the description every time. So if you go to my YouTube, you can see there's a banner before the video starts that shows a lot of the information, like a picture of what we're going to create in that video. And then when you go to the description, it tells you, I always tell you the Copic color combinations. So now we're going to switch to E81, and this is Ivory. And this is the one that's going to, it's one of the ones that's going to bring it a little, start bringing in a little bit of real natural type skin tone, but still too pale to be, you know, real skin tone like we normally use for people. It's going to be the next color that's really going to bring it all to life. So, or to death, whichever way you want to look at that. I don't know. Can you say that? It's going to bring it to death?
To unlife.
To unlife?
Yes.
To locked up unlife? I don't know. The next colors, though, is the one that's going to really help it out. This one still looks quite a bit green and quite a bit dirty. And the next one will help finish it up. And we only have one more color, so we're doing great. This is coming out extremely nicely. It blends really well. It smooths really well. I'm pretty happy with all of that, so that part is great. Huh? Hey, how are you feeling? Ollie Dallas, are you feeling any better? Hey, look at all you guys joining me. Thank you so much for popping in. So now I've picked E30, which says is like bisque, but it has that, it has more of that skin tone. But I don't generally use this color on a skin tone because it's not quite enough peachy color for me. But to give that effect for this one, and I may have to switch to 31 to get a little bit more, because I'm not sure this one is quite enough. Well, it might be. Yeah, it might be. So I like to do a little bit around this dark area. And this 30 has a lot of colorless blenders, so if I'm not careful, I can shift the colors. So I kind of opened up a little bit more of this peachy color around the eyes. But all these colors seem to blend very nicely to give me that effect I'm looking for. So I'm pretty happy so far with this combination. She's got dark circles under her eyes, which makes it look really good. She has the color that I was looking for on the skin tones. And now we have to add the red to her scars, like they're sewn together, although she wouldn't be bleeding, so I won't do any blood drips. But oh, Meg, I'm sorry you had a bad day.
A purple would look good at the seams of this.
She looks drop dead gorgeous. So what I want to do is I want to put some red, but I want it to look a little bit more like it's dried blood because she's not really real. I love that, Timothy. She's drop dead gorgeous. So I'm going to do something that we don't normally do. Now, sometimes we do tip to tip, but it's generally to make a color in between two color combinations that we're looking for. But tonight, we're going to actually use the burnt sienna, and we're going to use the colorless blender. I want it to blend that together. And actually, you know what? Maybe we'll use E30 instead of the colorless blender, because the colorless blender might have too much blending solution in it. So let's try E30 because that's the natural color we used. Now, when you do the tip to tip, don't use this stuff right here. This dried stuff, the gooky stuff that might be on your marker, because that is not good for your nibs. It clogs them. So just go right over top of the nib. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to go along this area right here where this scar is. And when it starts to get a little bit light, then I'll pick up some more color. But for now, I kind of want it to be a little bit on the light side. So I'm going to be using just a little bit. I mean, I want it to look like it kind of dried around that area. And I'm also going to do some on these little stitches. And you can tell as the color wears off, it gets to be a lighter pink, which is great because then you get like some different tones going on in there. And I really like that. I'm pretty happy with how that's coming out. So look at how great that looks. Hey, Darlene. Okay, run. Run real fast. We'll see you in a bit. Now I'm going to put a little bit down here on this one. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put a little bit on her hand. I mean, it's nice to have just a little bit of color. Now the key when you're doing tip to tip is to make sure that you have a piece of paper handy that you can wipe off that excess color that you picked up. Once you wipe that off, so you can see right here I have the red on there and now I don't. It's back to the natural color. So it doesn't hurt your markers to do that. You love the colors? I'm so glad. I really like this. Now normally we'd use red for that, but I didn't want it to look bright red. Now that I wiped the red off, I'm just gonna go and tap over it just to kind of blend that in just a little bit and maybe extend a little bit of the red like it maybe had more blood on it, but it doesn't now, kind of thing. Just to, you know, soften that up. Now, if she was alive and she had a scar, it would definitely leave it a lot more red, but I didn't want to do that. Okay, so now we have this amazing little zombie girl. I feel like we have a little bit of two light spots on here, so I'm going to grab one more color, which is the YG91. It's very light, and I'm just going to go over that real quick just to kind of soften that color into a little bit more of a green. Just to make sure we got a little bit better blend right there. And then I think that will make it perfect. We'll touch the ear as well. And then I think that's magnificent. I love it. So I'm happy with that. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on the eyes. I know you guys usually have to wait till the end for the eyes, but tonight we're going to go ahead and start with those. So I'm going to pull R00. I know this is crazy, but when you're doing zombies, everything's crazy. R00 we're going to pull out, and I'm going to put that along the bottom of her eye. Just because if it would have been bloodshot, it would have had a whole lot of red in it, but since she's a dead girl, she just needs a tiny bit of pink to show that it was red at one time. And then for the top,
She has pink eye.
she does have pink eye. For the top, I'm going to put C1. So I only did half, and now I'm going to do the top half with C1. And that's going to kind of just prepare them for the final colors that I'm going to do with the eyes. Now, I'm going to take the colorless blender and just kind of blend those out because I don't want there to be like a solid line there. Just trying to get these colors in there so it doesn't appear to be exactly white. So that kind of blends it together. A little bit hard to see from here, but it'll stand out more. See how you can see a little bit of pink, a little bit of gray, kind of what I was going for. Now we're going to actually build the eye. So when I do real people eyes, you guys know I always do a circle and then I do the dark and we do the little lines to show. We're going to do that differently tonight because I don't want to show a lot of brightness to her eyes. So we are going to choose the YG93 that we used on her skin so that her eyes somewhat blend with what's going on. And then we're going to use the C1. And we're going to use the YG91. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. So it's just 3 colors. We're going to start with the darkest color, which is YG93. And these eyes will stand out even more when we do the hair. Wait till you see what color we're doing the hair. So I'm going to take YG93 and I'm just going to go around and kind of make a circle, which would be all the colored part of her eye when she was, you know, a happy girl running around. So just building that color in there. Now we're going to go and do the same thing on this side, but because she's at an angle, we want to just have that go all the way up there, just like that. Now, some people could just leave it like that. I'm going to do a second coat just so I can make the outside part of it just a little bit darker. When it dries, it won't be a big difference, but just bear with me. There we go. So that already looks pretty cool, and you could stop there if you wanted, but we're going to enhance just a little bit more. So now I'm going to take my C1, and I'm just going to go over top of where I put the green. What that's going to do is kind of wash out that green just a little bit. You'll see it start showing a little bit of green in there where that one's much brighter. This is going to kind of dull it down because we want it to appear like it doesn't have any brightness to it. So I added the C1. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use the YG91 like we would with the colorless blender. So first I'm going to hold your marker upright as high as you can, and then we're going to go around the eyeball. Kind of like we do with the G00 that we did before. I may have to use the colorless blender for this one, but we're going to go just around the center of the eye. It's going to add more ink that we're going to be able to spread when we pull in the colorless blender. So I'm just putting it right around the eyeball. Now we're going to use the colorless blender. Got to hold it upright again because we're going to go around the center part, right around the black area. You're just going to start working it until you see the color moving. So hopefully you can see that on camera. See how it's bright? It's brightening up this area that's right there by the center of the eye. If you do too much, it'll wash out more. I don't want it to do that, so I'm going to stop with this one and let it dry a bit. We'll work on this one next. So that one's starting to move. And now in order to build those lines and striations within the eye, we're going to start doing just some little lines. You won't be able to see them right away because it takes a second for the ink to move. But this is going to start putting some lines within the eyes. It's almost a reverse of what we normally do. It's hard. It's a little bit hard to explain, but you guys are watching, so you'll get it. And then as it dries, it's going to get even better. So when I hold it up, you can actually see that it's not one smooth color. It has like lines and changes in it, and I really like that. So we're also going to do it one more time around the center just so we can lighten that up a bit more than the rest. And then we have her eyes pretty good right now. She looks a little bit on the scared side, but you know, it has to look like she has no thought behind what's going on because she's a zombie. Okay, so now we're going to work on hair color. And I wanted a good color that would match with all this other stuff. So I have decided to pull in V99, V95, E04, V93, and then V91. It's going to give it a little bit of a purple, but not really purple. I don't know. You'll see. Like a wine color maybe. So we're going to start with V99, and we're going to put those strands in her hair. So it looks like she has lots of strands of hair. Like her hair's a bit on the stringy side. So just very small, tiny brush strokes within each section of her hair. Now this part right here is all in shadow, so I'm just gonna make that this darkest color. On this one, I'm gonna do the same thing, following the pattern of the hair. So whatever direction the hair is going, that's the direction of my brush strokes. So I'm gonna go down this way, and then here, I want this to look like it's jagged, like the artist drew. So I'm just gonna put some lines there. I need shadow around her ear, so I'm gonna fill that in. Same thing with down here. Now this color is really dark, and the rest of the colors are not. So we are gonna do a bit of outlining with this color just to keep that dark color underneath her. And I'm gonna start doing these hair strands here. Now this one will start curving a bit so it stays with the curve of the hair. But any other color is not going to have a lot of depth because it's going to be much lighter. So I'm doing all my shadow with the same color, which is different than we normally do, but we're normally not coloring dead people. So yeah, you suck at hair. No, you don't. So basically, just follow the strands of the hair. Like, the person who drew the image gave you an idea of which direction they wanted the hair to be, looking like it was going in. So you are going to follow that direction and build the hair out from there. Now, I'm going to give her like a part here in her hair by doing something like this. And that makes it look like her hair, she'll have a part in the middle of her hair. Now this part right here is going to come down. So we're going to build just a little bit in there, because we can't leave this big blank space. It'll never color in correctly if you do. And then I'll come a little bit from this direction as well. And we don't have to fill everything in. We'll be filling in with other colors, but we definitely need some of that depth in the areas we want it to be the darkest. So this is kind of giving you the outlook of how I want this hair to go, how I want it to look when it's done. I want you to be able to see those lines of hair when this whole image is finished. So I have to put them in with this dark color because the rest of the colors I chose are not dark. So that's why we're doing a little bit more than we normally do with this color, with the darkest color. Put some dark there, down here, right up underneath her face. This one that's underneath, it needs to have some darkness to it. And we'll just keep going, building this in as we go, making sure that we have the colors that we need in there. I'm not going to skip around because I want you to be able to see how we build onto it as we go. So notice I'm going on some of it from the bottom and then some of it from the top. I'm going to do this solid line around her face. If I had chosen some other dark colors to blend with this, I probably wouldn't be doing so much with the darkest color, but I know that the rest of my colors are going to be really light, so I need all my shadow to come with this one. So this part of the hair is moving that way, so my brush strokes are going to kind of roll that way as well. Now they're going to move this way, so I'm going to be really careful to follow that exact same pattern, the impression that the artist wanted for this. I'm also going to put a bit of shadow under her arm because it will be reflecting on her hair. So now we have a bunch of this really darkness in here, and to me it looks like there's just too much white right here. So I'm going to extend some of these up just a little bit by barely touching the paper, so it's not a lot of ink in there, it's just a little bit of ink. So now we have the basis. Already it looks cool. I mean, you could almost leave it like that. It's really neat. But we're going to move on to B95. So I'm going to start where I put those darker shadows and kind of do in between the area where I'm not going over where I put the darkest color. I'm just kind of doing the in between so we can get some color in there. And I don't want to spend too long in that location with my marker, or it will start to wash out the color. And I don't want to do that. I really don't want to wash out the color. So there we go. We're just putting in this color, and I know it's really light. The next one is going to be a little bit darker and help with adding a little bit more depth. But for now, I'm just going to get a little bit of this in here. I'm going to start with in between all these areas up here, because this part under here is going to stay really dark. We're going to go along these very dark lines and make sure that we get that blended really well. Now I'm waiting a second and I'm talking to you guys so that I can give that a chance to dry. And I'm going to go over this one more time. When you go over alcohol markers a second time, it deepens the color if you let it dry in between. So if you only have a few colors and you don't have a lot of colors, you can definitely build depth by allowing it to dry and then putting a second coat over it. So if you didn't know that, that's a helpful tip for you. So trying to do the in-between. There we go. Looks like we're filling in a lot of it, and maybe some people would stop at this point, but I'm going to add even more because, you know, I can't help myself. You guys know I love to color, so mixing stuff up makes me super happy. So I'm going to wait just a second, and I'm going to add just a little bit more depth down here. One more pass over to deepen the color. Seems to have worked a little bit darker on this side, so I'm going to add a little bit more over here for a third go round. There we go. That's much better. Now we're going to switch and we're going to do EO4, because if we just go to 93, it's going to just be lighter and lighter and lighter, and we're going to miss out on a little bit more depth. So I chose to do EO4. It's a different tone. It adds a little bit of pink to it. And I'm going to put that in the same type of area that I put the last color. I don't really want to go over the darkest color. I just want to get a little bit more depth and maybe a little bit of pink going on in there. Now we use this as our shadow color for natural skin tone, but when you see it with this color, you're probably like, we put that much pink on people's skin? It just, mixing it with the different colors gives it a different appearance. It'll help deepen this under here as well. And we're not going to color it solid in because we really want to leave a little bit of that highlight. Because even though she's Night of the Living Dead...
Sire had a comment.
Oh, this is looking fun. I'm glad you like it. Even though she's Night of the Living Dead or whatever, she could still have reflection on her hair. You just won't see any in her eyes. So I need to do this part up here, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next color. So for those of you who have seen and have bought the pumpkin head, that is probably going to be our Thursday night coloring. So that's your little tip, heads up, if you want to color with me. V93 is next. And this is where I'm going to start filling in those white spaces. So I'm just going to do a bit of a back and forth to get a little bit of color in there. But we still have one more to go. So We're not going to spend too much time with it. I don't want to wash out the color completely. And if you haven't gotten your pumpkin head, you can still watch the live and then watch the replay when you get yours. They are selling kind of fast, and with the second show, if you want it, you should probably grab it. I'll put a link in here and on YouTube if you guys need to know where. V91 is the last color we're going to use, and I'm just going to do a bit of back and forth with this one too, but there's a lot of colorless blender in this color, so it's going to kind of wash it out and leave a little bit better highlights. So I'm not going to do it over the dark areas, just where I'd like there to be a little bit brighter area. So mostly in these areas where I'd want the white to be. And I'm not going to do it up underneath her chin or anything like that, because I want to leave that really, really dark. I just want to lighten up a bit around the edges. It also adds just a tad bit more purple, so a little less pink, but still really nice. So far, hair's looking good. So there we go. We have skin and we have hair. And isn't that just awesome hair with that skin? I love it. Now, in coloring this, oh my God, I love her. I don't know why Facebook keeps kicking me out. Oh, what a bummer. That is a bummer. And I did notice it's kicking other people out as well. I don't know why it's doing that. That's crazy. But I'm glad you guys are liking her. Okay, so all the stuff, her clothes, her shoes, her hair, everything needs to look a little bit more on the dull side. So we are going to make her little dress, R17, R14, and R12. But we're also going to use E81. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the color that we're going to use to kind of dull the really pinkish color dress she's going to have. Thank you, Meg. I'm glad you like her hair. And you guys saw how that wasn't that hard. You guys can do it too. I know you can. I have faith. R17 is where I'm going to put shadow areas. And I don't want this to remain really, really bright, so I'm not going to put a whole lot of it. I don't want to distract from the hair or any of the skin. So I'm just going to be putting a little bit of this. The only place that's going to get a lot is that in these fold areas, they need to remain much darker than the rest of the dress. So I'm just going to add this one color in there. Oh, Facebook is kicking you out too. Oh, I also want her little socks to be
It's kind of a cheerleader.
this color as well. Yes, it does remind me of a cheerleader. It's a zombie cheerleader. If I had a pom-pom stamp, I'd put pom-poms beside her when we put her by the brick wall. RV14 is the next color. So this one is still more on the reddish color, reddish pink, but it's gonna lighten up some of it a little bit. It's a much lighter red. So this is where I'm starting to extend from where I put the darkest color, adding a little bit around the bottom to give that dark effect of the fold at the bottom. Do a little bit on her socks. And this is where it changes up just a little bit. Hi, Linda. This is where I'm changing up the formula from what I would normally do. If I was doing a person that was live, I wouldn't do this step right here. I would skip this one and do the next one. How long did it take you to label all of your markers? It took, when I did it, I didn't have the right kind of, vinyl. So I had to use a transfer for every single one of them. So it took me 2 days. But if you print it out on this new vinyl that I have, you can just, I connect them all together. So you just pick up the whole name and lay it on there. So it only takes like a few hours to do. So it's not too bad. So this is E81, and this one I'm going to put in all the white area. It's not going to blend. It's going to look a little bit funny, but I need it as a base coat before I put the last color on to keep that dress looking kind of dingy because she's walking around zombified. So I added E81. Again, E81 was one I used in the skin tone, so it does keep that same color going and tone, and that's what we want. R12 is where we're going to blend it together. So we're going to go right over that E81, and you'll see that it makes it more of that pink color, but keeps it kind of dingy. Hi, Peggy. Thank you for popping in. There we go. And her little sock as well. And now her little dress is done. So we have shoes and Band-Aid. So let's do the Band-Aid now. I find that Band-Aid colors work really good with the 35s. So E35, 33, and 31. So I'm going to use 35, the darkest color, over this, the patch part of your Band-Aid. These colors will go by pretty quick. 33, I'm just going to do the edge of the Band-Aid. I don't know why she has a Band-Aid. She won't be bleeding, but it's so cute. I like the idea of the Band-Aid. Maybe she put it on when she was still alive. You couldn't miss what is left. I still have to do the background, the card, and finish up the project. But she just has shoes left. And I may touch up her eyes just a tad bit more. I feel like now that they're dry, I can really see where they're at. And I like them, but I feel like I want just a little bit more of that colorless blender. Oh my gosh. Dale made me a pom-pom. You guys, look. He made me pom-poms. I need a second one. I need 2 pom-poms, baby. Thank you. So we are going to put pom-poms on the ground of our little cheerleader here. I just posted my hop card. Not necessarily my best card, but they are so fun. Oh, yay! So I can go out and see that one too. Okay. So for her shoes, I'm going to use E77, 74, and 71 because I want them to be darker brown because we all know she's walking around everywhere. So this is 77, and I'm just putting that along the bottom of the shoes and along the back side where the darkness would be. Yes, he's working on his cosplay. He's actually going to use the costume he had and enhance it with more parts. He's been working on, he made a bow to go with his stuff. I say bow, like a bow and arrow bow. I mean, crafters, when we hear bow, we don't think bow and arrow. But, yeah, he's been working on the bow. That contest where the winners compete for the overall winner of everything is in February. She looks amazing. You love her? Yay! This is E71, and this is just going to blend out our colors very nicely together. You don't want to use a whole lot of 71. It has a lot of colorless blender. Again, it'll wash out the color, but it made her shoes look just really soft and great. I'm going to touch up her eyes one more time with only 2 colors, E93 and colorless blender. Now, don't quote me on that. I may change my mind and add just one more color, but I want to put a little bit around the edge here, so that it enhances his eye just a little bit more. So it doesn't look like just one flat color on there. I felt like it just needed that. You love her eyes so much. I do too. I just felt like it needs just a little bit around the edge. Since there's no black line for the eyes, I felt like it needed just a tad bit more. And then I feel like the colorless net blender needs to be just a little bit more around the black part of her eye. Just a little bit. Not too much. I don't want to wash them out too much, but I do want to put just a tad bit more around her eyes. So when you use the colorless blender, it will move the ink, but sometimes as it's drying, it moves it back. So you have to be really careful. You love the little change. Sometimes you need to wait for it to dry. That's so true. So look now, it's better. I think it's much better. Although it does look like it needs to be softened just a little bit between the edge and the transition. So I am going to pull the YG91 and just go real quick right where the two connect. Right where I just added that darkest color. Just so it doesn't show a deep dark line. So in the end, you end up with this, which I think is much, much better than what we had. So I'm pretty happy with that. And now we have pom-poms for our girl. Yay! That sentiment, I love that sentiment. So now we have little pom-poms that we can add to our card. Dale's so awesome. Okay. I am going to have to fussy cut this, but bear with me. It won't take me long, I promise. So this is my sentiment. It says, if zombies chase us, I'm tripping you. Nothing personal. And you see how fast I cut that out? That was amazing, wasn't it? Now we're going to cut her out. You have to actually watch me cut her out, but I promise it won't take me too long. I do this often, so, you know, because those of us who are on design teams, we know that when we get the stamp sets and we have to create for the release, we don't get the dies. So we have to know how to fussy cut, you know. I mean, that way you can cut it out. Or you stamp it and create your background right on the same paper, and then you don't have to do this, but I don't mind. I do a lot of fussy cutting. I know, right? How did I cut that so fast? It's magic. This one's going to go pretty fast, too. Not as fast as the other one, but what I'll do is as soon as I'm done with this one, I'll show you guys the other ones that I colored. And I already had that sentiment, so I had already cut it out when I cut out the other zombies. So I did show them at the beginning of the video, but a lot of you guys have joined since then, so I want to show you one more time because these two sets that I have are so stinking cute, and I did color them, but I was driving for 16 hours, so I didn't get to post them on release day, but that you will see them in the upcoming week. Here we go. See, we're already halfway there. So just about another minute or two, and then you'll be able to see the other ones. Oh my goodness, now I have 3 pom-poms. Thank you, honey. He's so creative. That was probably scraps he had just sitting there. 16 hours. Yeah, 16 hours, and tomorrow we're leaving for Kentucky, so 12 more hours starting tomorrow morning. So, yeah, it was fast turnaround this time. But then after that, I'll be home for most of the month of October, unless Dale decides we're going to go somewhere for our anniversary. We haven't confirmed that yet. See, my girl's all done now. How fast that was. Yeah, 16 hours. It was a bit long, but it was okay. All right, so normally if I did a stamp, and look at how good this color matches with her hair. I was hoping that matched nicely, and it does. So I'm very happy about that. Normally I would do a different color background, but I feel like this brick wall, normally a brick wall would be more like a reddish brown or a tan, but I think I'm going to just do this thing black. I want it to be dark behind her. And I'm going to do it on my Misty. Is back at hockey, so we'll start traveling almost every weekend. Oh, yeah, there you go. That is a lot. Okay, so I told you I was going to show you what the zombies look like. I wasn't kidding. So this was the zombie set that I got that has the girl we're coloring right now. And I colored this girl.
Cars is going night-night.
Good night. Well, I'm showing yours right. I'm showing the colored ones right now, so you won't have to wait if you want to just watch for a sec. And then this one looks like either a little science guy, or you could use him as a doctor. There he is. And then you make me feel alive. That one I colored. And then I have another set. It looks like this one. And I did this little boy right here. And his zombies eat brains, you're safe. So we have that one. And then the last other one I colored was this one. That I couldn't color that one. This one says, ugh. This little one looks like a little teacher, and there's even a sentiment that says teachers love brains. So I colored that one as well. And you can tell I did all the skin tones differently, not the same. And then the one we did tonight is even different from the other ones. So all different color combinations, so it doesn't have to be the one I use. You can add lots of color combinations. She looks absolutely amazing. I have to get up very early. I'm going to have to call it a night. That is so totally okay. All right, so I'm going to put this in the center of the bottom so that I can put my wall on here. And I'm going to make my wall black. I've already cut my paper, the size.
I asked where you got the wall stamp from.
Where to get the wall stamp from? It's Stampers Anonymous. It's a cracked brick wall. So I thought it would look good black. I think I'm going to scoot it over just a tad, but my paper is already the size it needs to be for the card. So here we go. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to actually use my VersaFine Clair because this is much, much darker than when I use the Memento. So I'm just adding a bunch of ink on here. I'm okay if it doesn't get real thick in one area, but if I don't like it once I stamp it, then we can always restamp again. So if you guys don't have a press for your Misty, you should get one. Thank you so much for coloring these tonight. You did amazing. I'm so glad you loved it. Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me on the release. I really appreciate it. So you don't have to press really hard. You just have to make sure that you rub it all the way across. And then, see? Magical. I kind of like it like that. I don't think I even want to change anything. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And I have this sticky mat in here. If you guys, some of you guys already know I keep the sticky mat in there. But if you didn't, I love the sticky mat in there. I don't have to use my magnets, which makes me very happy. And then the ink wipes right off of the sticky mat if you do it right away. And if your thing is wet. And then if it doesn't come off, this one is more stubborn than Memento. But if it doesn't come off, you can wash your sticky mat with soap and water and it comes right off. So I'm just going to wipe these thick parts and I'll just clean the rest of that after we do the live, finish the live. So I have this one, but I'm almost thinking that this darkness right up against here almost needs something around the edges. So we're going to have to do a little bit of blending, I think. And maybe I won't use black. Maybe we'll use a different color, like something that looks more like, maybe like Lost Shadow. Lost Shadow might be great. Or Scorched Timber. Maybe, let's just use that. It's the first one that came to my hand. So, you know, sometimes you just take what you got. I cut myself with the magnets. They bumped into each other and flew away and cut my, oh my goodness. I'm telling you, I'm not a fan of those magnets at all. So I was really happy when I found and discovered that magnet. Now, these are going to be new in the shop as well. If you haven't seen them before, it's a double holder of the oxide inks. It also holds 4 of the oxides or distress inks if you have the little ones. And what happens is when you do this, it doesn't move around as much as it, you know, it stays sturdy and firm. I'm just going to do this right on my table. Just going to blend around, more dark on the outside, more light on the inside. So I'll start on the outside and just start blending in. And I won't add any more ink when I do the middle section. So just a light coating over some of it. This will be great because I'll stick her over here and it'll be such a different tone. I really like that. Okay, I'm very happy with that. And that almost looks like her skin tone. Look how great that is. It's a perfect combination for her. This is going to show that once you color, you can make a super quick card. You don't have to make it too elaborate or anything. So you can use this as a bone folder as well. But I like mine to be like super, super crisp. So sometimes when the paper is really thick, you need a heavier one. So this is a Teflon from Trinity Stamps. And then we're going to add our card base, add to our card base, just like this. Yep, I think I want to leave it like that. Perfect. We're going to add some glue. I'm going to put some pom-poms on here because, you know, you think I can glue them, pom-poms, with Barely Art glue? What do you guys think? Here we go. We are almost finished, you guys. We're rocking this. I'm so glad you joined me. I know Monday's not my regular night, and I knew it would throw everyone off, but I was really hoping you guys would come and join me because I can't be live tomorrow. So then you flip this over again. You use the press pot tool that you can now get at Pajama Crafter Stamps, designed by Doux Designs. Yours truly, Dale. There you go. Just need them to hold with a clip or something while it dries. Yep. So I'm going to put this down here. And I have 3 pom-poms. And I think he gave me that third one because this one's a little bit small. So I think we're going to put her... I don't know. They're a little big, aren't they?
Well, you can cut them down if you need to.
Should we cut them down?
Trim them down.
Let's trim them down a little bit. So we're going to hold them in a ball. And we're just going to, you know, shred them up a little bit. Now, thanks, Dale. Now I'm going to just shred your little pom-poms. We'll just try to make them a little bit smaller. Oh, I like that size. Much better, much better. There we go. Oh, I'm so glad you guys came and joined me tonight. I think we need one on each side of her. Anyone what's it? What?
Cheryl has a question.
So you're on Tuesday and Wednesday. No, I'm on, today's Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm on tonight, Monday, and then Thursday. I'll be Monday and Thursday this week. And then when I come back, it'll be Tuesday and Thursday again, just like before. I think we need to pop her up if we're going to have pom-poms on here. So let's put some of this. Hot glue would probably work better, but we're going to use Barely Art. I'm going to put a little bit here.
Too bad you didn't have a sentiment that said ready, okay.
Right? Like cheerleaders. And then we're just going to leave them sitting there a little bit. Yes, on either side of her. Excellent. So I want to pop her up. So I need to find my pop-ups. Again, I said I had to rearrange right in my room so that Joy and I could both craft in here. So I'm going to stand up to get my pops. Stand up. Okay, here we go. And we're going to pop this girl up with our pops. I don't know. This is scrapbook adhesives is what I'm using. Here we go. And sometimes I cut these if the area is too small. I like a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I know I could do a whole lot less, and you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, she could save so many of those. But I just like using them. I have some tiny ones too, and I even cut the tiny ones in half for the really small areas because I don't like anything to dent when I'm trying to put the girl down. I'm very, very picky about that, so I even cut the smaller pieces into pieces when I need to. So like for her little feet, she only needs a half of the small one on there. And then for up here, we're just going to put the whole large one on there. And then I always turn it over and I kind of press on it just to make sure there's no areas that like dent down into it. Because I don't want that. You like a lot too? It makes you feel better? Yeah, I know, right? And these are really easy to peel. I really like these. They make me happy. And did you know that if you have these pops and they're white, you see them a little bit more when you're moving the card around. But when they're black, they kind of hide. So they don't stand out quite as well. So I'm a real big fan of the black ones versus the white ones. Oh, stuck to my finger. There we go. And now we're going to put our girl up here. She almost looks like she just threw her pom-poms down. If anybody was a cheerleader, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And we might as well pop up her sentiment too. And that's pretty easy. I don't need a whole lot of these for that one because it's small. We'll turn it over and see if anything dents. Nope, looks good to me. You're a black fan as well on the pops. Me, I really like them. So this is my favorite sentiment of all the sets. If zombies chase us, I'm tripping you. Nothing personal. I think that is really funny. So I'm hoping those are drying. The only other thing that I would put on here is maybe some bugs or something, which I actually have. Because we don't need a lot of like living things. We need some of the little dead things. So, or the little bugs and creepy things. Look, I even have flies. You know, you're heading to the couch to sleep. I'm getting the shivers again so much. Thanks so much for checking on me. Yes, I hope you feel better. I hope tomorrow is a great day. Feel better. So I think no ladybugs, because ladybugs are happy to me. So we're going to use the flies just because why not? I have 3 flies. We need an odd number. It works perfectly. And flies are always around like dead things. So there you go. It's perfect. Here we go. Now we have flies and we have a zombie girl. So what do you guys think? Do you like it? Isn't it pretty? Look how good that came out. Can you see the lighter part and the darker part I added to her eyes at the end? I really like that. And notice I didn't add any blush to her cheeks because, you know, she's dead. You love the flies? That's Doodlebug, and I love Doodlebug. So I had about 4 packages of these, and I still have more, so. But the flies are perfect. I really like Doodlebug. I think I even had the flies. Nope, I've already used the flies in the pops. So I didn't have any more. See, evidently I like the fly because I've already used it in every other one except this one. But I love Doodlebug. I love it. I love it. I hope you guys love it. I'm going to upload it. I'll download it from Facebook and I'll upload it to YouTube, and I'll put all the color combinations in there so you guys will be able to use those for reference. We may color some more of these later because they were really fun, and I know zombie colors are cool, but I'll also be doing the zombie colors in different colors. You know, different skin tones to give you a variety. These are so cute. Zombies eat brains. You're safe. And there's the teacher. And there's one more in the set, and she's really cute too. Something happened with my stamp got off when it was printing, so I have a new one coming. But, so I couldn't color her yet, so maybe we'll do her next time. And there was one more set that had a bride and a groom in it, so that was really cute too. So here they all are. So if you love them, go check them out at artfulangel.com. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'll see you guys on Thursday with probably the pumpkin head. Hey Meg, we got our card. Just FYI, before I log off, you should know we got our card, and I'm so excited. Thank you so much for sending it. I really appreciate it. We love it. You guys have a great evening, and I'll see you on Thursday. Good night. Thank you, Meg.